Another coolant leak, trailer light issues, yet we're still rolling. Load updates, Rusty, and more on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and very fuzzy studio audience. Yep, that's Rusty, the world famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, what is today? Wednesday, the 31st of January. Just pulling out of the Orange Junction truck stop. Place to stop. You can fuel. They don't even have DEF at the pumps.
You're on US 18.
Stopping, go to the bathroom here and stuff. But I had to come back here. I'd already passed this earlier. And so that's what I'm talking about. I want to talk about right now. Yeah. I had a coolant leak. Luckily, just a little bit further up the road here, and I'll show you when we pass it, was able to get myself pulled off to the side, checked, and so sure enough, coolant spewing out. Made it back here. I was at least able to buy some. And so now we're back on the road tonight. So I delivered at the Walmart distribution center in Cheyenne this morning at 5 a.m. I had to do a split last night. Just could not get to sleep, so I only got a few hours sleep. So after I was done there, I went home and took a 2.5 hour nap, something like that. Let Rusty run around the yard. That always makes him happy. And they got my free shower at home. And I've kind of dirtied this shirt up already, but oh well. But that's not the only issue I've got going on right now. It's always something when you're driving a truck. Something's always breaking down, some sort of issue. I've got trailer light issues. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But yeah, so I was just a little further up the road than going into this railroad crossing here. And my check engine light and everything comes on to shut me down. And it was a coolant issue. So I limped it back there, ran in, bought a few gallons of coolant, bought the cheaper stuff. I just replaced it with, exchanged two of the cheaper ones that I did not use for one of the ones that you're really supposed to use, but it's so much more expensive, 30 bucks. So, anyway, yeah, it was right about here. All of a sudden, all the lights start going on the truck. Ding, 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 you know, you're a devil, your world's coming to an end. Blood, body parts, you know. That's what it always seems like when that happens. And there's a little pull-out right up here as we go up this hill that I was able to get myself turned around. And got back there, and we were actually able to get that problem fixed. I was able to get it fixed. Had Elliot on the phone help me out because he just kind of had the same sort of issue. So get a couple of us who aren't motorheads and bang our heads together at least, and maybe we can kind of figure it out. So at least that's what happened. So I'm now able to get back on the road tonight because now this one delivers Friday morning in Rothschild, Wisconsin. There's the little pullout right there where I stopped at. I was able to get myself turned around and get back. What do you think? Well, with trucking, it's always something. So yeah, I took a shower today, and I've just almost killed another shirt here. But I think I might have fixed my problem myself. Stopped here at Orange Junction in Wyoming, right at I-25 and Highway 18, south of Douglas. And I usually stop here, go to the bathroom before I run over to Dusk, and then up towards South Dakota and Hot Springs. Right after I left here, all of a sudden, check engine light goes on, shutdown engine light goes on. And I'm like, oh crap. And there was luckily a little place to pull off. There's not many of those along Highway 18. And I'm like, well, the only thing I can think of is low coolant, you know, and I just checked it the other day and just topped it off. Yeah, low coolant, it's down below the sensor, and that's why it was shutting me off. Luckily, I still had about almost a half gallon, put that in and made it back here, bought a whole bunch more, and then opened it up and looked at everything again, and I couldn't tell if it was a leak coming from underneath my coolant reservoir. There's a little nipple on there, and then the hose goes onto that. And I couldn't tell if it was coming out of the hose or out of the reservoir itself, like there might be a crack around where that nipple is on the reservoir. So I filled up some more, I was checking it, and I wiggled it around, and it would spewed more if I pulled down on the hose. It spewed less if I pulled up on the hose, so I put a bungee cord on it and filled it up a little bit, thinking, okay, maybe I can limp it up the road. Called the Freightliner in Hot Springs. Of course, they're closing at 7 tonight, so I wouldn't be able to make it there before they close. They do have the reservoir, they do have the hose and the clamps. So I said, put them all under my name. I have an account there. I'll come by in the morning and pick those up. And then I got on the phone with Elliot and was screwing around with it some more. And he said, you know, it could just be that loose hose clamp, because he just had an issue with this on his reservoir. And where the hose goes into the reservoir, that end of the hose was bad. And so what they did is they just cut off, you know, about a 1/4 inch, put the clamp back on, put it on there, and that solved his problem. So I'm like, okay, let me screw around with this a little bit. What do you think? And screwed around with it, moved the clamp down, moved it up, tried to get the hose as far up to the reservoir as possible, moved the clamp as close to the reservoir as possible on that little nipple, and bada boom, bada bing, bada boop, leak stopped. Which is good, because I'm always really nervous running across these small highways in Wyoming, because if you break down there, there's no place to pull off, there's nothing you can do. So I'm letting the engine run a little bit longer right now. In fact, I'm going to kick it on the high idle right now while I'm sitting here. So I just want to make sure that that fixed it. I bought the cheaper coolant, the one that you can use. It's not the red. You can use it in all colors, whatever. Because they wanted 36 for the one, the red one. So I bought 3 gallons, used the one, and I still have the other 2. I think I'm going to go exchange those 2 of the other one for the right one, the red one. If I'm not going to be losing it, let's get the right stuff in there. So, but I may have just solved my own problem here, which is nice, and it's still a little bit of daylight out here, so I was able to do that in the daylight. So, I feel a little relieved. I'm going to show you where all this is happening. Okay, so this is the whole place I'm talking about, right there. So here's the coolant reservoir. When it gets below this sensor here, that's when it'll shut you down. So it was just kind of spewing all up around here on this hose. So I couldn't tell, is it this nipple going into the hose, or is it the hose itself? Well, you can see where the clamp was, and the hose wasn't quite as close to the reservoir as it is right now. So yeah, just by jiggling that hose around and moving that clamp up, I dried it all off underneath, and you see, no more leak. So we're gonna go with that. I'm still gonna buy a new hose. I don't think I'm gonna get it there tomorrow because they don't open until 7 a.m. I'd like to make it farther than Rapid City tonight. And it's just this little short piece that goes down to this hard line. And remember, I had that replaced in Candler, North Carolina, not too long ago. So we're just gonna get a new hose here, new clamps, and that's something I can handle on my own, and I don't have to pay a shop. What do you think? So yeah, so excited that I was able to actually take care of that on my own, and also, more importantly, not break down on the side of the road. So there you go. So there's the truck behind me, if you haven't seen that in a while. Look at this nice, let me turn this around. Nice, this is January. What is it, January 31st? It was 61 degrees today, believe it or not. And just dusk now. This is the Orange Junction truck stop. There ain't much to it. It's a gas station where trucks can park. That's about all it's worth. Oh, and there's Rusty. Might as well say hi to Rusty up there in the window. Right, Rusty? You think I'm talking to someone out here? Is that it? Yeah, well, at least that finally got resolved. The coolant thing. You know, like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I called the Rapid City and said, yeah, give me one of those reservoirs. Give me the line. Well, now I don't know I don't need the reservoir, which will save me $155. So I just got to buy the hose and the clamps. That shouldn't be that much money. And I should be able to do that repair on my own. I'm going to have to buy a couple extra gallons of coolant. I'll buy them from the Freightliner because they're only like $11 for me there. Where, God forbid, you have to buy coolant at a truck stop, you know, $36. They're just taking advantage of us because they can. So it just chaps my butt why I oughta. So maybe I'll attempt that on Friday. At least now I know I got the leak stopped. And I'll just grab the parts with me and I'll keep checking it. I checked again when I stopped in Hot Springs to add some fuel. Had to make it up to Gear 5 for this month, baby, you know. So the 31st, last day, so I was 10 gallons shy of hitting that Gear 5 level on the TA Petro Ultra 1 points program. But if you get all the way up to level 5, Gear 5, you accumulate the points a lot faster. And of course at Gear 4 and 5, you can use the Ultra credits for meals, for parking. I tend to, on these runs that I'm doing now, I tend not to ever have to use the reserve spots, which is nice. But I do use them for free meals, because why let that go away? You know, that's $17 worth of food. And even as hiked up as the prices are in the truck stops, well, you can get at least a free meal. So, you know, don't throw that away. What do you think? Okay, so now on to the other thing, the trailer light issue. Yeah, this is right after I got loaded at Post on, what would that have been? Today is Wednesday, so that would have been Monday. Then I filled up at the Petro in Albert Lee, and I'm leaving there and driving down the highway, and everyone's flashing their lights at me. You know, apparently there's no lights on the back of the trailer. So as soon as I crossed into Iowa, I pulled over into the closed way station to go check it out for myself. I do have turn signals, left and right. I do have brake lights. I just don't have rear trailer lights. So something went wrong, something went haywire somewhere between the lignite and the serial. I don't know what. So I'm going to be going back to North American Trailer in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin after I deliver this load of lignite on Friday, because I don't pick up the serial again until Saturday. So I called him up today and said, look, can I just come on over? You did a great job on my trailer doors, and you obviously would have everything you would need to fix that sort of thing. And, you know, there's a slight chance, I doubt it, that it could be an issue with the truck. I really think it's something on the trailer, because my side trailer marker and turn signal lights still work just fine. The upper ones at the front of the trailer still work just fine. It's just the rear ones that don't work. So I drove down to Story City Monday night. Then Tuesday, as I'm driving, and once it finally gets dark, I called ahead to the Ogallala TA and said, you know, I've seen these in there before in your shop. They're called Foxfire. Here's a little thing. They're lights they're magnetic. You can stick on the back. You can get them in either red or amber. They're mainly for like oversized loads, long loads, or something where they still need to put a light so people know where the load ends. But so they have a few different functions on them. I thought, well, great, maybe that's a good thing to get me through until I can get back up to North American Trailer. And so that's what I ended up doing. Okay, here's the problem. See, my turn signals work, but that light itself and that one right there should just be lit up as taillights, and they're not. Brake lights do work, I verified that. So I bought these Foxfires, little magnetic mounted lights. So these serve as my taillights until I can get things fixed. So there you go. You have three options. You can put them on solid, which is what I need for taillights. These are a lot of times used on oversized loads because you can turn them to flashing or back and forth. And we just leave them on as taillights. They've been working good so far, and the magnets on them are really, really good. Hold them to the frame of the trailer real good. So this will get us through until we can get fixed. What do you think? So those are great. That'll be a great stopgap measure for me, so I can then deal with that on Friday. And if I'm driving mostly in the daytime, it's not going to be an issue. And as again, like I say, I have turn signal lights, I have brake lights. I just needed lights on the back of the trailer, so if it gets foggy or something and people are coming up on me at night, they can see that I'm there. So that's the whole point. And as a matter of fact, right after I was driving more towards Dusk today, I came up on a trailer that had no lights on the back, and I almost didn't see he was there. So that's important. I understand it. So at least these battery-powered LED lights are getting me through, and they were like $54 a piece at the TA in Ogallala. I looked up on Amazon, and they were like $56. And everyone in the comments said, well, they don't even have as good a magnets as the ones you get at truck stops. These things are hanging on the back of the trailer with no trouble. 4 AA batteries, all it takes, and I've got more. I bought 4 packs of the 4 AA, so if these run down on me tomorrow night while I'm driving or the next night, I can just pull over and pop new batteries in, so we're covered. So here we are parked at the Common Sense truck stop in Rapid City, South Dakota, not to be confused with the Coffee Cup fuel stops, which are my favorite in the South Dakota area. This one's actually very new. It's very nice. It's just the lot lanes, so like you can't tell in the video, but I'm leaning backwards. But I'd rather lean backwards than left or right. And with my clutch trucker remodel, you can see up there behind the CT lights, my bed is upstairs. So if I'm going to be leaving anyway, I want my feet to be lower than my head. You don't want it the opposite way, you get headaches. And it's not leaning left or right, so that's okay. So anyway, and apparently they have good food in here in the daytime. I've never actually taken advantage of that because, again, with my remodel, with my fridge, my freezer, my microwave, my Ninja Foodie oven, my toaster, my George Foreman grill, and all that, I have so many great food options in here. I was just talking to Elliot earlier today about that. I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to have tonight. I've got one of those cheesy bacon mac and cheese things from Quick Star. I've got the Johnsonville brat cheesy things. I've got burgers. I could do grilled cheese. I've got sloppy joes. I've got so many options in here. It's almost actually too many options, but so I don't have to eat out of the truck stops, thanks to my great remodel here on the Clutch Trucker Truck. So there you go. All right, so I'm going to run over to the Freightliner here in Rapid City, just a mile down the road, pick up the new hose and clamps tomorrow, so that I can hopefully do that repair on my own. It looks like it's holding for now. I'll keep checking, because, you know, if it runs out of coolant, that'll shut you down, baby. So, and maybe on Friday I can do that after they get the trailer fixed. What do you think? So that's the whole hope. And then I pick up the cereal again on Saturday for a Sunday delivery in Cheyenne. That's a quick one, but that cereal load, boy, does that pay well. This lignite load doesn't pay as well, but, you know, it keeps me on the loop. So overall, when a lot of other truckers are out here are struggling, I've actually found kind of a nice little loop that puts me through the house a lot. I got to run by the house real quick today after delivering in Cheyenne and take a quick nap. I got a shower and all that at home. So there's a lot to be said for that, and I'm still actually making a living as long as I can keep the breakdowns to a minimum, and at least I was able to fix my own crap today. What do you think? Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Yeah, I just wanted to give a little update. I know they're coming, buddy. You don't have to butter me up. So he sees the light and everything come out. He knows what's coming. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment. Get to your comments as soon as I can. Sometimes takes a few days because I'm a working truck driver. Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter and X, whatever it is. Clutch Trucker 5 on TikTok. I tend to always put Rusty stuff up there. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Hey, listen, you know, sorry I got mad at you the other day, you know, for like changing my grade and stuff. Do you think you could change it back? Oh, I don't know. You know, they changed the password a lot, you know. Well, maybe they didn't. Can you at least check? Don't worry about it. I already did. Well, what did I get? I gave you an A. You gave me an A? That's so sweet. Okay, what are you waiting for? Is there something you're waiting for? Is there? Huh? What is it? Is it bacon strips? Is that what it is? Bacon strips? I think so. Alrighty, silly doggy, there you go. Enjoy your bacon strip bounty. You earned it. Yep. It's been a crazy day. But we actually made it, got parked, so we can put together the video. You can get your bacon strips. Life is as it should be. Right, Rusty? Oh, yes. I see another piece down there in the pet bed. Oh, you get that one first. There you go. Then I'll give you the other one. Alright, here you go. Oh, all over it. And sing it with me. He's a bag and strip dog. He's a bag and strip dog. Sometimes he eats too fast and he starts to cough. He's a bag and strip dog.